Hello, our topic is virtual training on education, and our prototype is an adventure game based on reinforcement learning. Actually, our whole idea comes from a game called Tomb Raider. As an adventure game, we added the knowledge of reinforcement learning algorithm to the methods of treasure hunting, so that teenagers can learn some of the most cutting-edge fields of artificial intelligence while playing the game. Then we will introduce the game from the beginning. First of all, we can see that this is a nephew of one of our group members. There are two totally different states when he has English online classes and plays English games. We have noticed that children generally have a higher acceptance of games rather than classes. Although the game may not completely replace the traditional courses, it has stronger interaction, which can well stimulate the interest of players. At the same time, it can also display the complex and abstract knowledge vividly, so as to achieve the effect of reducing complexity into simplicity. The youth education market is broad. According to the official data in 2021, the 0 to 15 age group accounted for 17.95%. Statistics indicate that the market scale of youth software programming education is as high as 6 billion RMB in 2020. The high growth in the past few years and the high expectations from the people in children's programming education makes the whole industry full of prospects. In addition, machine learning has become a hot topic in recent years. AlphaGo began to conquer various opponents in 2015. In the next year, it defeated Lucido with an amazing score of 4-1. The only game that human won is generally discussed on internet. Lucido is called the last god slayer. The popular science of reinforcement learning that is used by AlphaGo is also emerging one after another. According to our survey, more than 75% of people are interested in artificial intelligence. The market has not given a standard answer to children's programming problems. Just as exam-oriented education is a standard answer to the college entrance examination, the field of teenage programming education is now in the early stage of development. Various educational methods show their magic powers, such as video forms, tutorials, and courses. These methods have more or less defects in depth, breadth, and extensibility. The following is a comparison with similar products. They all have some insurmountable shortcomings. For example, there is a lack of interaction in video, and some complex concepts are difficult to explain. Tutorials and courses may have high requirements for knowledge, which can be boring. The existing apps like Programming Cat and Scratch have too few topics to choose, which means that they lack scalability, and users need to pay for many courses. To sum up, based on the current market situation, market prospect, public cognition, and market competitiveness, we finally decided to make such a popular science game for young users, an adventure game based on reinforcement learning. The whole product will be introduced from 4 levels: the most basic algorithm, story, website application, and future expansion. The first part is most difficult to understand. I know it's boring, but this is the core of the whole product. I will try to explain it briefly. The left is the model of map. Our treasure is randomly generated at one point. We need to reach that point with the least steps without knowing the relationship between the starting point and the ending point. On the right is the result of the algorithm. At the beginning, I ask you to walk randomly. You can see that our result has used dozens of times, but the shortest path only needs 4 plus 5, which is 9 steps. Each time we walk randomly, we will update the map value. Then, according to the map value, we will only try 3 more times to get the shortest path. Okay, the most boring part ends, and the following is the most interesting part, story. The whole story is told in the form of cartoon. The story is an adventure story happened in Middle Age, talking about a family looking for a hidden treasure in a mysterious jungle. They were forced to take risks to enter the forest to find treasures because of that. The whole process was very tutorials. Finally, it even shocked the royal family. Our prototype is a website. If you are a 12-year-old child who opens this application for the first time, you will go through several steps. First, you will see the whole storyline. Just like the background story, you will always click to skip at the beginning of all games, and then introduction of various algorithms in the background story. The next is a game based on the storyline, so that you can have a sense of substitution experience to feel the step-by-step optimization of the whole process. Finally, there is a free choice mode. You can select different characters or different props in the character selection on the left to complete the game at will. What the web shows can be seen here. You can also use Bilibili to scan the QR code on the right to see our screen recording. And I guess that you probably choose to skip the wonderful and exquisite story. Finally, there are several expansions. There is room for expansion in different directions of our subject. We can make different localized adaptations of the content to adapt to different applicable groups. We can also add more challenge and adventure elements in game mechanisms, and finally flatten the whole content. That's all. Here, I would like to give our special thanks to the art team and the web production team for their help, as well as Georgia, Dr. Xia, Dr. Li, and Dr. Wei for their support.